Hameroff bestudeert microscopisch kleine structuren, microtubuli genaamd. Ze bevinden zich diep in de cellen van de hersenen. Hij denkt dat de hersenen op dit microscopische niveau de geest produceren.
The inside of cells, including nerve cells, are comprised of a network or forest of girders or cylindrical structures called microtubules that self-assemble to form the shape of the cell. They are also the nervous system of the cell and process information internally to organize what happens within each cell and also how cells interact with other cells. These microtubules are actually very well designed as computational devices.
Hameroff stelt dat microtubuli computertjes zijn die de celactiviteit in de hersenen organiseren. Hij heeft het gedrag en de structuur in de microtubulus zelf bestudeerd. Hij denkt dat de microtubuli fungeren als quantumcomputers.
The quantum world at the level of atoms and below, for example, has some very strange properties. For example, everything can be interconnected to everything else. Particles can be in two or more places at the same time, a process called superposition. So in a quantum computer, information can be in two states at the same time.
Dit vermogen om op twee plekken tegelijk te zijn, wat superpositie genoemd wordt, is een fundamentele eigenschap en vormt de basis van het heelal.
The fundamental level of the universe is so infinitesimally small that it's impossible to even imagine. But if we go down in size scale, for example, from our brains to our nerve cells, into the microtubules, and then inside the microtubule subunits to the level of atoms, and then keep going down even smaller than atoms, because atoms are mostly empty space, the space between the nucleus and the electrons, down and down and down, everything is smooth. But eventually we reach a level where there's some kind of coarseness or irregularity. This may be something like, imagine you're in an airplane looking at the surface of the ocean from 33,000 feet. The surface of the ocean looks very smooth. However, if you were in a boat on that surface, it'd be very choppy. And there's a pattern, obviously, in the waves in the surface of the ocean. Similarly, when we get down to this fundamental level of the universe, there's information, there's patterns, and that information carries conscious precursors that give rise to our complex consciousness.
Op dit kleinste niveau van het heelal, diep in onze hersenen, treedt volgens Hameroff en Penrose het bewustzijn op. Hun stelling berust op een bekende theorie, de algemene relativiteitstheorie van Einstein. Einstein heeft ons geleerd dat alles, materie, energie, ruimte en tijd, de samenstellende elementen van het heelal zijn. En dat tot op het kleinste niveau. Op dit niveau bevindt zich ook het bewustzijn, met de hersenen verbonden door kwantumprocessen in de microtubuli van de zenuwcellen. Dit zou de bijna doodervaringen kunnen verklaren.
When the brain stops functioning, the microtubule coherence, if you will, the pumping metabolic activity stops, and this information leaks out. It isn't lost, it isn't destroyed, because it's occurring at the fundamental level, so it just leaks out into the universe at large. But rather than dissipate and spread out, it hangs together due to another strange phenomenon called quantum entanglement or quantum coherence. So I think by this mechanism, it's possible for consciousness to exist, at least temporarily, outside of the body. For example, floating above the ceiling, floating above the body, observing the resuscitation.